If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same escape. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys, it's Old Man G here, back again. Apologies, I always try and do this the evening before or day or two before. So, but busy. So what I try and do sometimes is if try and get a pre-match review. I'm about to watch the game. I'll do a pre-match review, which is about half an hour before the game. Let me know what you think about this, guys. Whether you think I should do it a day before or before the game, I don't know. I guess it depends on how much people watch it, but it's what it is. But anyway. If you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, follow us to United X, smash the notification button, Players United News. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be doing more, especially once my exams things are over. I'll be posting a lot more news regarding just transfer news and match reactions. So in fact, today I'm probably going to be posting a lot of, because this is a big game. You've got United versus Liverpool, you've got Barca versus Real Madrid, Juventus Inter. So I'll be posting a few match reactions from other teams, especially Barcelona and Real Madrid, because that's the El Clasico is going on right now. Shout out to everyone who's watching on Facebook, and shout out to everyone who's watching on YouTube and Twitch. Really appreciate it. And shout out to people in the comments. CFC Time, who I know from his channel, says 4-1. Maybe what's the prediction? It's a very bold prediction. CFC, very bold. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the results. I just don't think the United have that firepower, and we're going to go into the starting line in a second. I suspect, however, that with Chelsea's win, 7 emphatic win net nil yesterday, that they will probably go and win the title. Magpies, yes. Magpies is actually is not. This is Red Devil Studio. Magpies is kind of around, and depending on how today goes, I might have to bring on Magpies in my steed to actually sort of take my place. That's the thing. So it depends. It really depends. You might see Red Devil, see Magpies. You may just see Magpies just in general from now on. It really depends. So as people can see, this is the starting 11. I'll just scroll up. It's been out for a while, last hour or so, and it's pretty much just, and it doesn't surprise me because we know Ollie by now. He's unchanged. Shout out to Rasmus in the chat as well. Shout out to just everyone who's watching, man. Yeah, this is the starting line. It doesn't surprise me. De Gea, he's in form. He's going to be in goal. Henderson is essentially now number 2 anyway. You got Lindelof and Maguire. I still don't understand what Bay has to do. I'm going to make a point about this, actually, because people have been talking about Sancho and Van der Beek getting benched. But no one seems to talk about the fact that Eric Bailly is fit, is playing, and he's actually played less games, had less game time than Van der Beek and Sancho. So for me, that's the big thing, man. That's the thing. So and to be honest, I don't really see. The funny thing is that last season when we actually went on our run of form to be top of the table, it was Maguire and Bailly. That was the partnership that worked. And so Bailly's fit. At the end of the day, I don't understand how Eric Bailly is the fourth choice centre back at Manchester United. He's better than Lindelof. You could make a case that at times he's better than even Harry Maguire. But Ole doesn't fancy him. I don't get it. It is what it is. So you have Rashford, obviously, Greenwood. Whatever you say, you can't bench these two. Always knew. And the thing is, people saying, why is Fogger benched? I knew it. I told you guys. I said, as soon as Rashford's back, Rashford is an Ole favourite. He's not going to play Pogba on the left anymore. So either he tries to fit Pogba into the midfield or he benches him. And that's what happened because Rashford is always going to play. And to be fair, Rashford looked good. Still a bit raw, but he looked good. He looked good against Atalanta. He was causing problems. And we need that raw Rashford today to cause Trent. To be honest, the only hope we have in this game for me is Rashford on Trent. That's it. Because anytime Rashford runs against Trent, he destroys him. Every time he destroys him. When he's fit and a fit Rashford running at Trent, there's no problem. And looking at the Liverpool midfield, looking at that team, maybe he picks Konate because Konate is really quick, so he can deal with Rashford and the counter-attack and the break. But that midfield, Henderson, Milner, that's a slow midfield, man. That's a very, very slow midfield. So I suspect that Liverpool are going to be trying to use their fullbacks to cause the damage, really. Obviously overlapping with Salah and Jota because Mane's on the bench. So really, Luke Shaw, this man here, okay, and Wan-Bissaka, these guys need to step up. They really need to step up today from in their defensive duties because that's where Liverpool are going to go. They're going to go down the wings. They're going to try and cause us problems, and that's what we need to do. Obviously, you've got Wan-Bissaka, Tony, and then obviously Ronaldo as well being involved. So. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, 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 very interesting. I really don't know what's going to happen. Let's read some of those comments. I want to see both Red Devil and Magpie together. Unfortunately, CFT time, you can't. We just kind of, it's a complicated relationship, basically. So it's very, very complicated. But maybe, I agree with you. We'll get Magpies on if United or Newcastle win the league. That's that. Then we'll get them both on together. That's the deal. That's the plan. Remember to like the vid, guys. Like the vid, and subscribe. It goes a long way. Your team is dead. Your team is dead. That's what Luke is saying. Maguire, Lindelof, McFred, defensive disaster waiting us. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, to be honest, even since Klopp has come, Manchester United haven't really lost at Old Trafford to Liverpool. We lost last season to them, and that you could make a case that was because we made quite a few changes and we were tired. The game, to be honest, didn't really matter. It was billed as a big game, but it wasn't because United had pretty much secured second at that point. We had the Europa League final to think about, and we made multiple changes. So that 4-2, I don't really count that 4-2 loss last season because it had no real consequence to anything. But earlier at Anfield and the previous seasons, we'd drawn or we'd won. So Liverpool winning at Old Trafford is rare, but it's possible given the form that they're in. And United players have to be out for it. So I still think that we can win even with McTominay and Fred. People need to forget, Greg, we've beaten City with McTominay and Fred and Lindelof, Maguire. So we can Chelsea, we can do that. And the difference, I think, now is that, is at the end of the day, if United are going to win this, it's if we defend well, hit Liverpool on a counter-attack, and when I use our bench. And that, for me, is the difference. That's why, we need to make sure, even if we concede, we need to make sure we keep the momentum because we have a bench. He can bring on Sancho. He can bring on Pogba. He can bring on Cavani. In fact, I think Cavani should be staying. If I was Ollie, I would actually drop Rashford and play Cavani because Cavani is much more, intelligent striker, work ethic, etc. I play Cavani, Ronaldo, and Sancho. Or maybe it is what it is because you can't bench Ronaldo. Are Firmino, Matip, and Fabinho? No, I think Matip isn't on the bench at all. No, sorry. I think Matip is on the bench. Fabinho's the big one. Fabinho's the big one because Fabinho's not even on the bench. And if Fabinho's not on the bench, given that he started or he came on against Atletico, my suspicion is that Fabinho is injured somewhat. That is my suspicion. And if that is true, if Fabinho, I think Matip is on the bench. I think Matic is more tactical because Konate is quicker. And so I think that Konate's pace will be there to deal with Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood. So I think that's why Konate is starting on Matip. Firmino's starting, isn't he? I think Firmino's starting. I think it's Salah, Firmino, and Jota. Because Firmino's going to probably go into the midfield and help defensive-wise. It's Mane that's on the bench. I'm pretty sure Firmino's starting. But no, I don't think Mane's injured. I think it's just a tactical thing. But I do think that the Fabinho situation, and obviously follow me on Facebook, for those who are watching on Facebook as well, man, and Twitter. I do think the Fabinho situation, if that is true, will cause Liverpool, problems basically. And we saw last season that when they didn't have Fabinho and they tried to makeshift things, it didn't kind of work. And I am curious to see how the makeshift midfield of Henderson, because when I look at both starting lineups, I look at two teams that have great front lines, but the rest of the team is very set up defensively. To be, I don't want to be beaten. And I think that if Liverpool are going to win this game, it's going to be from Trent and Robertson doing their thing and having a good game. And if United are going to win this game, it's going to be on us basically just taking our chances and probably our subs bench, because our subs bench, I think, has more impact than Liverpool subs bench. Mane can come on, sure, but we have Pogba, we have Sancho, we have Cavani. We can even throw in an extra defender, put Baye in. You can even throw Matic in the substructure. We have more options there. This is what I'm saying. Let's have a quick look. I think it's about 15 minutes left to kick off. So no Pogba. Team Sancho drop is understandable. Scott and Fred. Rasmus, Mane, Ben, interesting. Wonder what Klopp had in mind. Possibly form, possibly rotation. I think rotation personally. Mane's form has been so-so, but I personally think it's rotation. I personally think it's rotation. Rashford always scores in Liverpool, and you can see CR7 scoring as well. Thank you guys. Can have fun on the counter. I hope so. I hope so. It's. I hope so. MN. I really do. Just like one hopes that Barcelona can get back into the game against Real Madrid. We live in hope. That's the thing. We live in hope. Fred and Bruno are fit. Yeah, what a surprise. Bruno's fit, Fred's fit. What a surprise. What an interesting surprise. I didn't think they were. Yeah, Matip was also on the bench. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I mean, moving on to the score predictions. I mean, what do you say to the score predictions? I mean, if my heart says 2-1, and it always say that because and let me know what your score predictions are in the comments, guys. But my heart says 2-1 because I know we'll always concede. We always concede, and I can't remember the last time that we've had a clean sheet. CFC says, I'm cheering on Ollie today. I'm also cheering on Romelu Lukaku at some point to score a goal because he hasn't done in the last 8 games. I really want him to succeed and do well. Unfortunately, he's got the same amount of goals as Christian Benteke. I think Benteke might have more actually, but it is what it is. But I appreciate you cheering for Oli CFC. So yeah, my heart says 2-1. My head probably says I think 3-1 to Liverpool. My head says 3-1 to Liverpool because that defense doesn't. I mean, we've conceded 6 goals in the last 2 Premier League games. That Maguire enough defense has not given me any confidence. We desperately need Varane to come back. If Ollie's not gonna play by, I don't know why he's not gonna play by, but apparently he's not gonna play by. Okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, we desperately need that back because that defensive ship has since Maguire has come back and we played Maguire and Lindelof, which is basically from the international break. We've conceded in all because we played Leicester, we played Atalanta, and we played who do we play? I don't think Villarreal. Leicester, was it just Leicester and Atalanta? I have a feeling there was one other team I'm forgetting about it. I don't know, I've forgotten. But anyway, the point is that we've conceded. That's gonna bug me. Who else did we play? Leicester. We played someone else. I don't know. Anyway, we conceded a lot of goals. Is the point I'm trying to make with that partnership with Lindelof, and we've conceded at least 2 goals. And I just think that against a strong Atalanta and Leicester are not better than Liverpool. So if we can concede 6 against them, and I'll admit that we had the midfield problem there, but to be honest, the goals were defensive issues. I just think Liverpool are just gonna pop a few. They're gonna pop a few, and they're gonna score goals, and it's gonna be a problem. It really, really is because we just cannot. I just don't. Maguire, I think. I'm sorry if I'm rambling here, but I think that a lot of people, because I've always said Fred gets a lot of unnecessary criticism, and people don't look at some of these other players like Shaw, who looks like he's putting a bit of weight, like Maguire, like all these other players, because Fred is a very good scapegoat. But the reality is that people are ignoring the disaster class defensive performance that Maguire had against Atalanta because he scored a goal. So because he scored his goal, automatically he's great. No, he's not. That's still, he needs to defend. And he didn't show me in that game. The only thing in that Atalanta game is that he didn't have to defend because we were just constantly putting a lot of pressure. So he didn't have to do much. But against his Liverpool team, he is going to have to do a lot. He is going to have to defend. He is going to have to fight the ball. He is going to have to do all these things. And that's important. Let me know what your score predictions are, guys. Let me know your score predictions. My heart wants the Vic to win while my head predicts a lot. Exactly. That's the same thing with me. I can't see how you can concede for. The only thing I would say is that Liverpool's defense has also not been that great either. The only difference is that their attackers are scoring slightly more goals. That's all. Liverpool have also conceded. They also conceded 2 against Atletico midweek. They conceded 3 against Brentford. They conceded 2 against. So, I think I think the only team they didn't concede against was Norwich, if I recall. But that's really nothing to be proud about. So the point I'm trying to make is that Liverpool also have defensive issues, and I think if we attack them with our talent, then we can score goal. We can score. Rashford, we can score past the Liverpool team. I don't think Van Dijk is back to his best. Konate is kind of being thrown in. Trent can be dealt with, and Robertson is okay. So they can be scored against. The issue is we can also be scored against. So I expect this game to be very open. It's either going to go two ways. It's either going to be very, very open to the point where you're going to get like a cricket score, or it's just going to be very, very defensive and boring because both teams are afraid to lose. Pick your poison. No jinx. I want you to do it. I mean, I guess maybe for the title thing. So I see your point there. If Liverpool win, then it puts more pressure on Chelsea for a title point of view. So I think the most likely is when both United went to when even when Liverpool have been unstoppable, they still win. You know, and I mean, and that is true. That's what I'm saying. That is true. You know, the United fan, the buzz, etc. The fans in the stadium are not going to tolerate United caving to Liverpool. That is just something that can't be tolerated. It possibly even if Solskjaer gets lubricated by Liverpool today, he could be sacked. That's how important this game is. Like, he cannot afford to be lubricated by Liverpool at Old Trafford, because that potentially is a sackable offence. And in the league, it will make us a lot further behind fourth, which again puts pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Right. I'm going to just quickly round up because I want to finish. The match is going to start, and I want to also have El Clasico in the background. Sancho should have started rather than Green for me. Our four liners full of goal scorers, then creators. The only creator with Bruno, that's the issue I see. So I agree. And that's where our fullbacks need to improve. This is why the man you see in front of you, Luke Shaw, is critical. That cross he delivered to Ronaldo to get us the third goal, he needs to be doing more of that. Because that's one thing I would say. Ronaldo is a beast in the air. Even I would argue against Van Dijk, he's probably a beast in the air. So we need to be delivering Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, aerial balls, crosses to Ronaldo for him to deliver. Because our creativity is going to come from our fullbacks and Bruno. That's it. Other than that, as you said, there's no other creative player there. What I would say is that I still do think that you've got to play Rashford on that left against TAA. You have to. Every time Rashford destroys TAA. Every single time. So that left-hand side is going to be like it has been every time we play Liverpool before. That left-hand side is always Manchester United's greatest threat. Shaw and Rashford, and then you've got inside. The right side is going to be a bit dead because Greenwood and Rashford need to track back, and they don't. And Greenwood is notorious not tracking back. So that is imperative. If Cavani and Ronaldo in the 90 minutes can run back and track back despite playing how many, then Rashford and Greenwood need to. And that's important. They need to track back and help their fullbacks. Wan-Bissaka cannot do everything himself. And I feel bad for Wan-Bissaka because if Greenwood isn't tracking back, if the defense is garbage in the middle, like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Just the Madrid. Okay. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna round. This is my obviously premature. I'm gonna round off, head off, because I want to have the league on in the because it's a lot of football going on today. The Madrid, the Barcelona, Real Madrid, El Clasico, then United, Liverpool, then you've got PSG, Marseille, and then you have Juve, Inter. And I might actually, like I said, post a few post-match for all of those things. So stay tuned for that. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.